Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
On the newspaper page, and love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls, 'cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every seam. It's the bigger love of the family.
Welcome back to Chief Talk, everybody. It's your favorite Thursday night host with the most. Welcome into Chief Talk. So glad to have you. So happy to have you back after missing last week. The migraine of migraines, headache of headaches. I do apologize for not being here. It is all. It was kind of a 11th hour decision. Called Bob Square and said, hey, probably not going to make the night. Got a bad headache. And he's like, you know what? Good night. So I did. I went to bed. I slept. And I woke up and still had a headache. But made it through, persevered. And now, headache free. So I'm happy to see you all back. Glad to see everybody hanging out in the chat room, having a good time. Welcome in Banker John, Mike Zach, Bob, Ellis, Matt, Brugger, Hunter, Ox, Fireborn, who else? Jay Bates, the amazing Jay Bates. Welcome in to the show. Hope you guys are all having a great evening, great Thursday evening. Banker John says, smash that like button. Absolutely do smash the like button. It's always nice to see the like button go. We do have 3 reactions over on Facebook. Jay Bates, Hunter Otts, and myself hitting the love button over on Facebook. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've had a good 2 weeks. Hopefully you've been able to sit back, kick back, relax, smoke a few cigars, drink a couple drinks. I do want to know, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? I will debut what I'm smoking. I'm smoking something new. I've been smoking a lot of new here recently. Trying to turn over a new leaf and not just smoke the same thing. I also want to make sure that I have a nice comprehensive list for the end of the year. And also working at a cigar shop allows me to get my hands on a lot of cigars. So without further ado, we do one of these. I pop myself here and pull myself back just a little bit. Jim Jurasek says, "Good evening, good evening, amazing people. Good evening, Jim." Michael Zakovic is dual wielding over there. Matt Berger, hope everyone's having a great week so far. Much better week than last week. Had the bucket truck catch fire last Thursday while I was up cutting the tree. Good night, 11. I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right. Tim Winters has got a Dr. Pepper, my man, and a 601 La Bomba. Let me come over here, do this number right here, and bring on my co-host for the evening. Welcome in to Bob the Cigar Guy. Glad
Hello,
to have
everybody.
you here.
I'm glad your head is better.
I am as well.
So,
Bob Ellis says, I think this Roma Maestranza will make my list. Good cigar. Really good cigar. Buena Cosecha and an old fashioned. Ooh, is it a bourbon old fashioned, a rye old fashioned? I'm interested. I would not have asked that question 2 months ago, but now that I know that old fashions are technically supposed to be ryes, I'd now ask that question. Traditional old fashions. I did pick up. We have a fall cocktail at the lounge that I work at, and we have a maple old fashioned. And so I was kind of interested in the bourbon. I can't drink while I work, and I don't hang out at work after I'm done working. I go home to my family. So I took note of it, and I went and picked up a big old bottle. I should not have gotten this big of a bottle of Knob Creek maple, smoked maple, because it is super sweet. Now, I will say, I did. It was so sweet to like the original Schnaudery, like trying it and whatnot, that I was like, ooh, this is a little too sweet for me. So I ended up pouring some Dr. Pepper in it.
I'm gonna have to give that a try.
It actually goes really well. Would you like a cup? I have a clean cup over here.
Sure.
You want some Dr. You want to try it by itself? Well, try it by yourself first. I'll give you a taste. Sorry. Now all of the phlegm that I've been fighting back is coming to get me. So I'm gonna give you a little tasty taste here in the Guri cigar glass.
Fancy glass.
I was doing tastings in here when I first got here today. I was using this glass, so it is clean. All right, this is the Knob Creek smoked maple.
Isn't that a neat little glass? Look at that glass.
It is really cool glass, by the way. I also picked up a thing of Basil Hayden at the O'Darby's liquor store. Not sponsored. Picked up a thing of Basil Hayden. I like Basil Hayden. It's a really popular pick at the shop too. It was a pretty good price. So let's see. Michael Zakovic says it's a rye old fashioned, of course. Jay Bates says no cigar, just my usual Rogue and peppermint. Sammy Flo says good evening, everyone. Barber Schmoke. Michael Zakovic says nice choice, Chief. I love that smoked maple. My son got me a bottle of that earlier this year for my birthday. Bob Ellis says, I'm with you, Chief. Good, but too sweet. I use that for my whiskey burgers. Ooh. Jay Bates says that's some good stuff as well.
But it's good for baked beans too.
That's a good idea. So after I tried it and I drank it, I told Bob, I was like, this is not something I think I would want to sit and sip on to just drink straight normally. When I tried it, I did not do it in the Guri glass. I should have. Because I took a huge swing of it. I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. I told him it was very reminiscent of the screwball that we have up there. But what I did is because I had like 3 more ounces of it left in a cup, I just poured the rest of my Dr. Pepper down in my Glencairn glass and finished it off most of the way, and then got another Dr. Pepper and poured it in there.
The finish is very sweet.
It's super sweet, man.
It's not that sweet when you're tasting it, but the aftertaste is all.
Texas Taurus is watching us on the treadmill. Run! I almost got the Basil Hayden toast. They had it right next to it. It was like $12 more expensive, so I did not. Texas Taurus, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. Bob Cigar, are you doing well?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to try it with some Dr. Pepper or
no?
Okay.
But I can't have that as my last flavor. So if you will pour me something off the decent shelf of the
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Do you want it? Do you want it in the Guri glass again?
sure, you can put it in there. It's not like that's
Okay.
I'm not that fancy.
Okay, so let me put the Knob Creek back up because I thought you might have wanted a mixer, a cocktail of sorts. I almost did tell you.
It tastes a little chemically at the end.
I did not get that. Now I am interested. Like I was gonna call you and tell you on your way home to stop at O'Darby. You know, you pass O'Darby's when you come home.
Yes, I do.
I was gonna see if you would stop in and get some amaretto, but we also have like some other stuff that goes in it.
Serrano?
No, amaretto. The
Di Serrano.
I don't think it's Di Serrano. At least the stuff that we use.
I think Di Serrano's amaretto.
But it's a what are those things called?
Cognac.
No. They're nuts. They're shaped like that. Almond. Yeah. Almonds.
I was worried where you're going with that, by the way.
All right.
Part of the
I'll give you since it's new.
what is that called? Part of the Illuminati.
Hazelnuts.
Illuminati.
I'll give you a little more of this one.
No, I'm surprised you ain't give me the Weller.
It's because
Not the Weller, the other one.
The H. Taylor.
Yeah. No, the other one.
Oh, the Willet.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because you don't like the
I
Willet.
did not like that.
I like the Willet.
We also added to the bourbon show. Like 2 weeks ago, after Chief Talk, I cleaned up here, and then decided, we're like kind of running low on bottles, and so Bob Cigar actually brought out some of his own private stash stuff. So we added a little E.H. Taylor out here. Another we have a half full one, well, third of it, but he had a full one in his house, so he brought it. So we have two things of Patron, extra one. Yeah,
That's good stuff, though.
Doesn't get drunk very often. He doesn't get drank very often out here.
This is the first drink I probably had off that wall forever.
I was not a fan of this Willet pot still at all, but it's up on the shelf now. Got some Weller Green Special Reserve here. Almost got some piggyback, but I wasn't a fan of the bottle shape.
You weren't gonna get the Boss Hog, were you? Not the Boss Hog, the piggyback whistle pig piggyback. That thing sucks. I have some.
The piggyback is what I was gonna get. It's not like the piggyback. And then there's just
that's really good for a mixer. So, have you tasted that?
I have not.
You should try a little snoot. It would go well in Dr. Pepper, to be honest.
And then I think that's it.
Because it is cherry forward. You'd go well with Dr. Pepper.
Everything that was added to the shelf this go round. Almost picked up a double oaked Woodford, but I wanted to go. I wanted to go with the Knob Creek smoked maple, and the double oaked is sweet too. So I figured, I don't want to get too sweet bourbon. But I did.
All the money you make, you should have picked up a Pappy.
Whatever. They didn't have. The only thing from like Buffalo Trace that I'm aware of that they had there was Angel's Envy.
That's not Buffalo Trace.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I'm like 99% sure
it is not. It is not.
Well, they didn't have any Buffalo. They didn't have any
Number one,
Rare.
Angel's Envy was run by another company, and they sold out, I think, to Bacardi, I want to say. They sold, it might not be Bacardi. They sold out, and now they're the ones that make True Story and Brothers of the Leaf.
All right, let's see. The all-seeing eye, Jebate says, BTCG is correct. Di Serrano is a name brand of Amaretto. Chi-Town is smoking a Hoya de Nicaragua Black Swan. Epicurean says E.H. Taylor is tasty. I like the E.H. Taylor.
I've never had a Black Swan.
I don't know.
I didn't even know there was a Black Swan from
Hoya. E.H. Taylor is tasty. I agree. It's very buttery, very bready. I liked it.
It's too hot for me.
It's not hot at all.
It's hot to me.
Many are not a fan of the Willet pot still. I didn't like it. It tasted like cleaner to me.
I liked it.
Michael Zakovic, somebody who drinks what's that stuff from Chicago called again? Malort.
Ugh.
He's a fan of the pot still. Chi-Town is celebrating the birth of my third granddaughter. Woo, congratulations. That's awesome. Bob will drink to that.
Grandkids are so much more fun than kids.
Matt Berger says, I have some Whistle Pig 15. So tasty. Tim Winter says, Bardstown. Chief, out of curiosity, what were you using the amaretto for? I was going to do, we have a cocktail at the lounge where it's the Knob Creek smoked maple, amaretto, a type of bitters, and then a dirty cherry. I think that's I have it on my phone. I think it's amaretto. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Hold on, because it's not in my text messages. It would be in my photos if I remember to not delete the photo out. And I probably did delete the photo. Oh, I've definitely deleted the photo out of here. Whoops. Well, I can do this. You go to Instagram because I'm the one who made the Instagram content. How about that? Actually, that's one of the things I do when I make the cocktails. I have the cocktail ingredient list when I make the cocktails, but I don't know if I'm like making it look right. So I just go to the Instagram after the post that I made, and maple old fashioned, a cozy autumn twist on a classic, crafted with smooth Knob Creek maple bourbon, enriched by deep nutty notes of black walnut and orange bitters. So maybe this one doesn't have the amaretto. Maybe the amaretto goes in the Godfather. Oh yeah, the amaretto goes in the Godfather, which is monkey shoulder scotch, amaretto. Okay, so amaretto would have not been a good buy.
Monkey shoulder's not bad for a scotch.
So I need to get the black walnut and orange bitters to make the maple old fashioned, plus the cherry and the orange peel, which I did. Oops, I did bring an orange. All right, Bob Cigar, what are you smoking this evening?
I am working on finishing up the knuckle sandwich by Espinosa.
Which knuckle sandwich is it?
The Black Band, which is the Maduro.
Oh. Have the Willet, haven't opened it yet. Love the E.H. Taylor. Supremo Tobacco says, what up, party people?
My man.
Sammy Flo, is enjoying a 100% mountain clear agua. Bob the Cigar Guy is 2 for 2. Angel's Envy is owned by a subsidiary of Bacardi. I could have sworn that they distilled it out of Buffalo Trace.
They're in Louisville. I know that because your mom went and got me a bottle engraved with my name on it, and she had to go to Louisville to get it.
Tobacco says, look at those handsome talking heads. Good to see you, fellas. Remember to try an old-fashioned with a rye instead of simple syrup. Use the amaretto. I sound like I need help.
Don't forget to add the umbrella.
So no, I do want to try the like the cocktails we have at the shop, but I can't do it while I'm on the clock, and I don't stick around once I get off of the clock to sit there and drink, because then I have to drive, right? And I'm definitely not coming into work super early to drink and then work after drinking a few cocktails.
Me and the first lady came in there, Saturday?
Yeah, last Saturday. Yeah, that was like
Saturday.
I think that was your third time you guys have come in there since I've been working?
With a bunch of people. Came in with a bunch of people, and I decided I wanted to treat myself, and I got
Making Poor Decisions was there.
I got he was. We got some. I got a double of Bullet Rye.
Bullet Rye.
Yeah.
I there was Bullet Rye. I wish I had more money. I wish I had the channel card, because I would have purchased a lot of things. Oh,
no.
So I got a 5% discount because you were in the military. And I didn't even lie about it. Like, they were like, were you or anybody that you're related to or an immediate family relation to in the military? I was like, yeah, my dad's Marine. Okay, you get 5% discount. Nice.
That'll work.
But no, there was a couple ryes that I looked at. The Rittenhouse rye is what we what we use for our house rye for the rye old fashions that we do. And it's a pretty inexpensive rye. I thought about getting it, but I was like, I was only planning on getting one thing, but because they were on such a good deal, I got 5% off. I got two things. But if I'd had the channel expenses, I'd have had more.
Channel's broke. Channel is broke.
All right. So you said you were smoking the rest of a knuckle sandwich.
Yes.
Correct.
And then I'm going to go, and I got this at a local lounge called Cameroon. I haven't humidified it at all, and it's smoking perfectly. And I will be following up with another cigar from Cameroon, which is the Prensado.
Oh, who makes that? Is it the company's not called Prensado, or is it?
No, Alec Bradley.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I couldn't see the band because it's got cellophane on it. I was trying to.
It's got the football.
Visually remember where that
Top
cigar
right.
was.
Top right shelf, back towards the back.
I am also smoking a cigar that I will be smoking it here soon. Hey, 20 people. 20 people. 36 out of 36, even after missing last week. Thank you all for hanging out with me, by the way. So I'm also smoking a cigar that I got at the shop. I went and picked up 4 cigars yesterday. Cigars I've never smoked before. Smoked the Alec Bradley Filthy Gooligan. Not a bad cigar, but it's not the Filthy Hooligan. It starts off pretty nice, pretty mellow, and then it ramps up into this super earthy, super gritty cigar. I was not a fan of it. You might like it, Bob. And then I picked up the Corojo and the Maduro Wise Man Lanceros. Smoked the Corojo yesterday. Really nice. Smoked the Maduro today. Not a fan of it. I like the Wise Man Maduro a lot. I do not like the Wise Man Maduro Lancero, which does not surprise me. And then this cigar is the 4th one. This is the Don Pepin Garcia Series JJ. It's a 20th anniversary. I assume it's the 20th anniversary of Don Pepin Garcia. It had a nice little footband on the bottom. It's actually right here in the ashtray with the DPG 2025 on it. So I guess
trying to do the little Tatawahe thing.
I guess it's 20 years of Don Pepin Garcia. Well, Tatawahe, Pete Hassel Johnson is married to the daughter of my father.
That's interesting.
Because they have. I learned that last year.
I almost grabbed to my father that I just found.
But that the La Coalición collaboration between my father and Tatawahe, that's the connection there. Let's see. Angel's Envy is Bacardi now. Wes Henderson used to be chief operator at AE, owns the Kentucky Castle where DE family reunion is held. Met him there last year.
Interesting.
Charles Adamson says, hi, all just checking in for a few minutes from Times Square, New York City.
Go ahead.
Welcome into the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Epicurean Smoke says, yeah, just got those Foundation Maduros to try. Which ones? The Lanceros? Cigar Pop says, I've got one resting right now. Which one? The Don Pepin Garcia or the Foundation or the Filthy Gooligan? Or the whatever Bob Cigar Guy's going to smoke. I don't think the Lancero was nearly as good as... No, I agree. Now, I will say the Corojo was good. I did like the Corojo. It was nice. Very reminiscent of like the lighter Matapa, in my opinion. Not as creamy as the Olmec Claro, but I did enjoy it. I liked it. But the Maduro, I was expecting so much more out of it, and I think, I'm not a big Lancero fan to begin with, so I was kind of surprised that I liked the Corojo at all, but I'm not surprised that I did not like the Maduro. Bob, have you smoked anything nice and new in the last week?
Yes, I did the Brick House Bricktoberfest. I did, what else did I do? I did something else. I just reviewed it.
Tiger's Horse.
I did smoke the Tigersaurus.
Yeah, Black Label.
It was good.
You smoked the.
It was good.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh,
I did smoke the Tigersaurus, didn't I?
you smoked the Chef's Edition from Davidoff.
I did.
Smoked the Rocky Patel.
You know what? That Rocky Patel wasn't near as bad as
You thought it was gonna be?
I kind of expected. I thought I would get you do get the Rocky Patel flavors where it just feels like they done sprinkle black pepper on top of it. Like it's just fresh ground black pepper on top of the flavors. It doesn't even blend in like you've cooked the pepper into the food. But it was enjoyable. A little longer than I wanted to be. I got halfway through going, okay. But it was good
When
while I
is
was at
this
it.
ever gonna end?
Right. It's like Titanic, the movie. But it was all right. I didn't have anything really bad to say about it, to be honest. But it was not, it was not something I would go bucks deep on. But there's only 300 boxes made of 10 cigars. There's only 3,000 cigars made. So
Bob Ellis says that I don't think that the Lancero was near as. Oh, he already wrote down, but this was the one I was going to. The Lancero had a really tight draw, fought it the whole entire time. It was the Maduro. So about halfway through my cigar, I started to realize that my cigar was really tightening up on me. So I would try to just roll it in my fingers. And as I rolled it, this little piece of tobacco kind of started making its way out like a splinter. And sure enough, I pulled it, and it was a stem about the length of the rest of the cigar that I had had.
Wow.
A
stem or a vein?
A vein. But it was, it could have been a stem. It was thick. But once I pulled it out, of course, my draw opened up. The smoking experience wasn't the worst for me. I've had some cigars that smoke way worse. It just, the flavors weren't my fan.
I can't remember who it was. It was either Pete Hassel Johnson or Boofy or somebody else. They made a cigar just called Stems, and all they did was basically a little bit of tobacco just so that it would burn, and then they rolled the rest with the stems, and they sold it for a little bit.
It's interesting. Cigar Pop says he has the Dom Pepin Garcia resting. Tim Winter says that there's a new cigar from my father, the Blue. It is amazing.
It's not bad.
It's a Honduran Puro.
The first quarter is much better than the rest of the cigar.
I like the whole thing. I'm surprised of how light of a cigar it is for it being Honduran Puro and as dark as it is. It really surprised me with how light of a cigar it was. It's a nice little mellow cocoa machine. Dan Burns says, Chief's getting gray on the side of his beard. I've been gray for a while on both sides of my beard, but I noticed for the first time watching the ad that I do, the Family Matters one. And I was like, man, why do I look so different? Other than having shot that like 5 years ago. There's no gray in my beard at all in that video. And it's incredible. Well, go back and watch it. Here. Where's it at? Right here. Look, there's no gray in my beard.
Welcome.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every seam. It's the bigger love of the family.
He was so young.
Look at this. It's just everywhere. I've got gray hair everywhere. In my beard. I don't have any gray hair on my head. Supremo Tobacco says, for those of y'all that have had them, are a box of Deadwood Dominicanas blind buy worthy? $7 per stick. So as somebody who's had the Dead with Dominicana and as somebody who sells them, we sell a lot of them. A lot of people love them. A lot of people really like them. People come in and ask for a really light cigar and they say that they're new to cigars. And I offer one of two cigars right now, Dead with Dominicana and Nicaraguan Shade. And I say that basically the difference is one has a little sweetness on the tip and one doesn't. And they usually go with the Dead with Dominicana because they want to have a sweeter tip cigar. I think it's a really good cigar because it's not super, it's not infused.
No.
The Toro is my favorite in that cigar.
It's a solid blend.
I'm a fan of it. So if you don't mind spending $7 a stick, do it.
And if you want a lighter cigar, it's a great end of the night cigar, so that you don't wake up in the morning and you're tasting your dark Maduros and your all that stuff. It really does. It does a job.
This Don Pepin Garcia is fantastic for a $25 cigar. This thing's dope.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by Natura Cigar and Drew Estate.
It is.
I saw somebody who I didn't really know in the media post this, and so I didn't trust it. But then I saw Half Wheel post it that Joya de Nicaragua and Drew Estate have parted ways.
Well, for distribution,
which is parting ways because that's basically
because Joya de Nicaragua rolls Drew Estate cigars too.
Right, but what I'm saying is, are they going to be going to Barn Smokers anymore?
Well, it takes effect in January 1st.
Right, but I know this year they would be there. They've already got that lined up, but I wonder.
I mean, so
I wonder.
That's something that I've talked to some people about a little bit, done some thinking on. Obviously, don't want to say anything that would be like, oh, well, Bob and Chief said this, but so when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that means, and then I tried. The first thing was, well, what do Drew Estate and Joya de Nicaragua have in common? Why do they work together? And I knew that Drew Estate and Joya de Nicaragua. When I first learned of Drew Estate and Joya de Nicaragua, I thought Joya de Nicaragua was a part of Drew Estate. I thought it was like the Acid line, right, or KFC or Liga or whatever. I just thought it was a line of cigars within Drew Estate's portfolio. And then after going to Nicaragua and going to both Joya de Nicaragua and Drew Estate's factory and getting more into the culture, I realized that no, Joya de Nicaragua is its own company. They do their own thing, but Drew Estate basically attaches them to their accounts so that companies have the option to get Joya de Nicaragua in their humidor, like our humidor.
They did that with Indian cigars. And they also did it with
Debonair,
which they don't do anymore. So it's in another company that just had a split like that was J.C. Newman and Fuente. And there's a third company that I don't know them well.
Did J.C. Newman and Fuente split?
Yes. They basically have the same deal that Drew Estate and Joya had. And now the distributorship is not there. J.C. Newman's not distributing Fuente anymore. This may be a new thing in the industry where they're just splitting up distributorships.
Well, I'm sure
surprised.
they end up saving themselves some money, especially once they have become established enough, right? Like J.C. Newman, in comparison to like Drew Estate, is a tiny company.
Fair,
right? But a lot of companies in comparison to Drew Estate are tiny. But you got to think, Joya de Nicaragua is also rolling a ton of cigars for Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust
and other companies,
right? They roll cigars for Drew Estate,
right?
So I don't know if they're completely severing the relationship. I think they're just severing the distribution rights. I wonder. I've been wondering whether or not it was DE sided or Joya de Nicaragua sided.
I wondered that too.
Did DE say, hey, we're not going to distribute your stuff anymore because we're having to pay all these extra taxes and tariffs and stuff? Or did Joya say, hey, we could be making a whole lot more money if we were doing this ourselves? We're already establishing a whole bunch of accounts. It'll be interesting. Because now, to my knowledge, Joya is going to have to send out reps
right.
to all
Right.
of the territories that they currently have their cigars in. Because in the Southeast, Georgia, parts of Georgia, all of South Carolina, North Carolina, parts of Virginia, parts of Florida, Hoya de Nicaragua has been distributed by Woodley Fall.
Right.
Right. So now are they going to have somebody that runs those territories with the Hoya de Nicaragua stuff? We sell Hoya de Nicaragua. We have two blends from Hoya,
Right.
Cinco de Cinco and Cinco Cuatro, or Cuatro Cinco.
Which is kind of sad for me personally, because I mean, Drew Estate is one of our big sponsors, and they send us cigars for me to review every week. And so we get Hoya as well. And so it's always nice to have the Hoya,
Do we
Dark
get Hoya?
Antaños, the CTs.
Yes, you're right.
Unos,
I guess you're right. Yeah.
The
You're right.
Cinco de Cincos, and
Right.
we get all that.
We don't get the regular run of the mill stuff. We kind of get the boxes when they come out.
Right.
Well,
Some.
now hey, Jason, or Hoya de Nicaragua, you want to sponsor Cheap Talk? No more benefiting off the back of Drew Estate sponsorship.
No free ride.
Yeah. Well, it's a family friendly show, so I can't say the grass or cash part. Let's see. Matt Berger says the Nica Rustica shade over the Dominicana. I mean, I guess it kind of really depends on what you're in the mood for, in my opinion. I mean, that's what I was saying, Brian. I was saying I suggest both of those. Now, I will say, I have probably smoked more of the Nica Rustica shades, but that's because they're cheaper. Now, you're at $7 a stick, you're getting them less than what we charge MSRP.
Yeah, that's below market value.
But it's probably through one of the sites where they've got a nice promo going on right now. Let's see. Fireborn says Marifel and Fuente also split. What the heck? Why is everyone getting divorced?
Right.
Sammy Flo says also it said U.S. distribution. Do they work together internationally? No.
Right. I think it's just
Internationally,
America.
Hoya does their own thing. Drew Estate only represents them in the States. So our first PCA trade show, Drew Estate had not come back to PCA yet. But they had reps at PCA working because they had to have their USA international or USA selling team selling. So Drew Estate had a bunch of reps at the Hoya de Nicaragua booth. And I think they were probably also selling Drew Estate cigars there. It wasn't a huge booth, but it wasn't a tiny booth either. And then last year, or 2024, Drew Estate came back, had their mega booth, and then Hoya de Nicaragua was right on the back side of the booth. And then this year, I didn't see Hoya's booth this year. I know they were there. Did they have a booth this year?
I don't know if I saw them or not.
I know that I saw Christian and Joel and a couple others, but I don't remember if they had a booth or not. So, no, internationally, Hoya does their own thing. Because I think Hoya and Drew Estate paired up at Intertabac. I don't know if Drew Estate went to Intertabac this year or not, but
I don't know.
I think last year they paired up with Hoya.
I know Swisher went to Intertabac because Mac went.
This year?
Mm-hmm. Mac went to Intertabac.
This year?
Yes. Just last month.
Matt Berger says he's not a sweetened fan. I mean, I don't smoke a lot of sweet cigars normally, naturally, but I will say because it's only sweetened, I think it's a nice cigar. And sometimes I get a hankering for, some infused stuff.
If I've been smoking all day, and I don't want to taste it the next morning, I will either finish with a tobacco or a leather rose.
Yes, they do make the Cabernet.
Maybe even a Stillwell Star. And I would do the Dominicana as well. Because I just want to add a little bit of flavor at the end of the night. Usually my palate is kind of tired at that point. You're 10, 12, 14 cigars in. And speaking of counting numbers, I think I appreciated that somebody said, what's the record of smoking a cigar safari? And you chimed in and said, well, I think Bob
I don't know.
did
I didn't
over
know what your
40.
number was.
It
But
was. I believe it was over 50 because if you remember, I told them I wanted to do some reviews, and
no, I know the story. You don't have to tell me the story.
And
I know the story. I just knew.
I think I had 16. I think I did 16 reviews at the at Cigar Safari, and I was smoking like a chimney.
But
the
I
rest
want
of
to
the time.
say, I remember hearing while we were at Safari that the number of cigars at Safari that was smoked during a
60 or 70.
it was almost an unattainable number.
Yeah, they said that guy was just smoking like no. He's constantly smoking, trying to beat a record.
I see. For me, like, I don't get along with like the whole like smoking record thing. Like, if I'm going to Nicaragua, like, I don't want to
I want to
be
experience it.
bound to my cigar. And not everywhere that you go can you smoke a cigar, right? You can't smoke a cigar in the Pilon room, right? You can't smoke a cigar, when you're touring the
Floor.
museum.
No,
No, you can smoke a cigar
That's
while
true.
you're
You
on the
can't
rolling
smoke on the
floor.
floor.
You couldn't smoke. I don't think they'd allowed us to smoke in the packaging, or you can't smoke in the cold storage that I remember. But you could smoke everywhere else. But also it's like, I was in the pool, I was hanging out, I was sleeping. Now I was sick, so I didn't have like the greatest time that I could. I had a great time. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time. I could have had a better time if I wasn't sick. But like I think I might have smoked maybe 15 cigars that.
I wonder if they're not bringing back Safari.
I think Safari happens on a very limited basis right now, because I know earlier, now we're in October. Last month, September, the guy who owns or co-owns the BOTL alcohol, him and Anfon were down there on Safari. Ryan Rayford's down there
He's down there right now. That was an amazing picture he
for
posted
Chico to say, "Hey, what's the record?" makes me think that because he owns a cigar company online, maybe he's getting the opportunity to go to Safari sometime, and he's going to try to set the record himself.
I would not try to set a record.
I'd enjoy
this. I would enjoy the Safari.
Samuel Philmont Zakovic, thanks for hitting the like button. Rick Carroll, thanks for hitting the love button. And Mike Rockdashiel, thanks for hitting the heart carrot love emoji button. Let's see. Bob Ellis says, I haven't had one for a while. They were pretty good. Best I remember. Let's see. Oh, talking about the Cabinetta. Tim Winter says the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Stillwell Star #1 is nice for a sweet cigar. Okay. If I'm going to go with a sweet cigar from them, I'm going with that Holiday Blend Stillwell. That's a better one. That's a better one.
Last year's Holiday Blend didn't have sweet cap.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Brian Gelfo and Kyle Henderson were there with On. Yeah, so I don't know if they're doing Safari, or if they're doing like the guys from BOTL, like they're blending a cigar with Drew Estate, which I'm very ill about that, by the way.
Why?
Because they're replacing the BOTL. And that makes me so angry.
Kind of like when Foundation changed to Wise Man Maduro.
Because I love, it pretty much is, because they just got rid of doing the distribution with Aganor Salif, or the blending with Aganor Salif, and then they went and did with My Father. Yeah. No. AJ Fernandez, because it got burned down in the fire.
No, My Father.
AJ Fernandez. Because it got burned down in the fire. Anyways, I always thought it was weird that they had a liquor called Brothers of the Leaf when Drew Estate already has BOTL, and BOTL was created for the BOTL website that was running as a cigar webpage years ago. And Drew Estate made a cigar to kind of like commemorate and, hey, this is awesome, really cool. And then they came back out with it a few years ago. And I love that cigar. I fell in love with it. First Lancero I really ever truly loved. But I just love the BOTL line. And then every time I see one in a humidor, I always pick up as many as I financially can afford to grab. And then when we were at Barn Smoker this year and I saw that they were handing out, they had a whole entire booth of Brothers of the Leaf, not Brother of the Leaf, like, and it's a completely different font. They were on their second iteration of the cigar. It really made me mad. Like they were over here on my desk and it made me so mad that they were there. It really bothers me. It shouldn't, but it does. I'm not happy that Drew Estate canned it. I'm sure the guys are great. I shouldn't hold a grudge against them.
Well, don't tick them off because they make True Story, and I'd like to get.
Do they make True Story, or are they just in with True Story?
They are the makers of Angel's Envy, and Angel's Envy makes the original Angel's Envy company makes True Story. True Story was their first.
I'm not trying to make them mad. They have inadvertently made me upset, and it's nothing that they did. They're just doing their business. They're doing their thing. But the fact that they look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy.
That's funny.
Godfather. I did not smoke one. What part of me being pissed off at these guys said I tried their cigar?
You might like it.
I'm not doing it. I'm mad. I'm triggered. I am upset. I'm pulling my full millennial here. I'm canceling BOTL because of, and I don't even want to call it BOTL because they call it Brothers BSOTL.
The opinions of Chief did not reflect.
I don't know why it makes me so angry, but it does. Golly. See, if we had the AI thing, like this is where the AI thing would take this and turn this into part of the conversation. Oh,
thank God we don't have the AI thing.
Yet it does bother me, and it shouldn't. It should not, because one, I love Drew Estate. I trust Drew Estate. Everything they do is great for the most part. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I love the original BOTL or the BOTL that I was introduced to, which I assume is the original blend.
Well, you have an emotional connection to it too.
What is that?
Kentucky, the hotel, the Pokemon experience.
Yeah. That was that. Yeah, Fabian gave me a whole entire box of the BOTL Lancer. Maybe that is. I had forgotten about that until right this second when you mentioned it.
Yeah,
that's probably it. You just
when
you just sleeper celled me.
when he pulled out that box and we were having pizza, and he goes, I brought cigars. He put out the box. I'm sitting there going, dang it. I was hoping he was going to pull out like something that would have cranked my tractor. BOTL is not a bad cigar, but it's not my dream cigar.
That's the thing too, is like the BOTL is like, it's up there on my list because of that night. Yeah. But I mean, blend wise, like
it's a good cigar.
If I'm not thinking about the BOTL, like you could ask me what are my favorite Drew Estate blends, and I could list off 10 other ones. And then if someone goes, "Oh, what about the BOTL?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot about that." And I was like, "Well, did you really like it? If you forgot about it?" Jamie Vaughn says, "I'm crashing out over here."
That's funny.
I've had only one BOTL stick, and it happened to be from a BOTL. It was a great stick. We had Brothers of the Leaf bourbon at the family reunion last year. Was amazing. Well, they're actually releasing a cigar with Drew Estate. They at the Connecticut Barn Smoker this year.
They gave out samples.
It was the second blend that they're working on, and they wanted to hear the feedback from the people.
But they didn't give you and me one, and they were right next to us doing.
I wouldn't have took one anyways. Hey, man, I'm angry, man.
That boy's bitter.
I am pissed.
He is sour.
If you guys are going to the Florida Barn Smoker,
now there's a little devilishness inside of me, hoping that you'll just begrudgingly be forced to smoke one, and you smoke it, and inside you're like, "This is the best cigar I've ever had in my life."
And what I'm going to say
and
is,
then you're going to be like, "I hate it." It's
I already have my. What is
it? Not as good as the original.
No. What is it called? Gaslight. I've already got my Gaslight. Yeah, this is good. This must be the original blend. You guys just went back to the original blend, huh? Yeah, you just put your sticker on top of it. It's the same blend that it used to be. You couldn't figure out how to make a better cigar, so you just stuck with the same cigar you've always had, and you just put your name on it, huh?
All right, so Jay Bates, what we have to do is one night at the hotel after the libations have been passed around a little while. Let's see if we can get Steven cranked up to run his mouth about that cigar. We'll just keep dropping the BOTL bomb and just till he bites the hook.
Like, I know, well, I don't know if they're still there, but there's a cigar humidor up the mountain in Hendersonville that had 2 boxes of them last time I was up there. So I might need to go up there and grab some just to take them with me. And then while all you guys are out there smoking the fake ones, I'll be like, yeah, I'm smoking the real one. Yeah, ain't no poser. You guys are posers. You guys suck. You got your Team U BOTLs. Huh? You get your BOTLs from Wish.com BOTLs. I am heated.
God, no.
I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it does.
It's getting worse.
You guys are ramping me up. You guys are egging me on. You guys are doing this. You guys are making me turn into somebody I don't want to be right now.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It's a good thing funny. Like nobody from Drew Estate ever watches these.
Next year's Chief Talk is brought to you by Bob and Chief.
Yeah. Drew Estate comes out with a campaign like, hey, we want you to do a campaign for the whole entire month of September next year. They find out it's my birthday month. Yeah, next month we're gonna every show we want you to do a big BOTL banner. No. I'll sacrifice that month's worth of money.
They'll send you a hat and a shirt.
Hey, Chief. Glad to see you at PCA. Why don't you come see this new activation we've got?
They'll print out the BOTL logo and they'll put it on Beard Balm and they'll put it on everything else. We would like you to do all these compilation products.
Oh,
that's funny.
Man, you guys are getting me going. Mac Bergson says, sorry, guys, can't watch tonight. Sending my love to everyone. Bergson. Jim Jurek says, I just lit up the L'Atelier La Macion 6 1/4 by 56. Nice. This Don Pepin Garcia 20th is dope. The first light, though, that's one of the best first lights I've ever had on a cigar in a long time. Super bready, super creamy, super cocoa. Really nice. Jay Bates is... sounds like a plant pop cigar guy. We'll get him liquored up and start yelling, "You're not my mom." We can get him to smoke a new BOTL.
Right.
No. I'm not even coming out. I'm gonna sit in my hotel room the whole entire time.
We could do a band switch.
I'm just gonna sit in my hotel room the whole entire time.
We can pull the band and put another band on it, and
yeah. Notice how there was no BLTL footage of the Barn Smoker video in Connecticut either. That was actually not like planned. I didn't take any footage of the BOTL activation. It was pretty cool though. I mean, because they had the cigars and the koozies.
In the koozies, yeah.
It was kind of sad they didn't they weren't sampling out any of their alcohol though.
I think there was a legal issue. To be honest, I think there was some.
How they were pouring.
Yeah, but their alcohol
bourbon thing, at the Liga Privada activation.
Their alcohol thing up there is weird. I think you have to have approval of.
No, that's Pennsylvania.
It's up here too. They had a problem with that as well.
Well, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense because they were pouring liquor in shot glasses.
Yeah,
by the hundreds.
Was that the Florida County?
I don't know. I don't think it was Florida County. I think it was something else. Maybe it's like a. You have to buy it. Maybe the liquor that you can serve at the event has to be bought in the state. As I learned, since working at Cameroon, that the alcohol or the liquor that we sell has to be bought from a South Carolina store to be sold off the shelf. And we also can't sell bottles. We can only sell by the glass.
Really?
I think we can sell wine by the bottle, but you have to consume it on property. The bottle has to stay on the property. So if you don't finish it, it goes in the trash. But we have a system where you can ring up by the bottle of wine. So I don't know how that works, but I did learn that the alcohol that we serve has to be purchased from a store in South Carolina in order to be served, which means that you pretty much buy the alcohol for what you would buy it if you went out and bought it yourself.
I think they have to pay more because there's a special tax stamp, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it costs more per bottle for a establishment than it is for an individual. You can't just go into the store and buy a bunch of bottles and sell this, but it has to be, I think there's a special tax stamp you have to have on it.
I don't know what the exact specifics were. I did ask my boss. I was like, "Hey, we have employee discounts with everything. Like, can we buy our own bottles through you?" He's like, "Honestly, it wouldn't be worth your time." He said, "You would pay pretty much what you would pay at the store." He said, "Now, if you want to find something that's allocated, he can get allocated stuff. He's got the people that he can talk to. But you don't get a discount or anything."
Well, your pappy could use some pappy for Christmas. Just a lot B is fine.
I think if that came up available, Ernie would buy it to have in the shop.
Y'all have pappy in the shop.
We have in the past, yeah. Jim Jurisik says the best wines come in plastic bottle or a box, right?
That's right.
I don't drink wine. I don't know.
Twist off cap, no cork.
J Bates says it's a new bourbon and it has to do with distribution rights. To my understanding, Brian told me whenever DE has events starting next year, they should have the Brothers of the Leaf bourbon. Bob says wine is something I can never get into. Maybe too much Mad Dog 2020 when I was young. I've tried wine. I know I haven't tried it right. I would love to like sit down with Eric Gutmerson from Cigar Dojo and him like walk me through a wine sommelier session where it's like, oh, this is the decanter and you spin it and then you look at it and then you do this and you do that. And this is like, 'cause every time I've tasted wine, it's like, oh, you guys like this stuff? But that's how I also felt about black coffee. And now I'm a black coffeeaholic. So, I don't get the hype about wine. I've poured like 2 glasses of wine since I've been working at the cigar shop. There are people who come in and get it. They're usually ladies. Actually, it's been 100% women. I've not seen a dude drinking any kind of wines.
Evidently, wine sales are down because your generation don't drink wine. And so California's pitching a fit because they dropped like 20% of their regular sales, and the vineyards and everything are complaining that people aren't drinking enough wine.
Mm. I've just never been interested in it. I mean, the only time that I've bought wine in the past 5 years was to cook a beef bourguignon. And that was a red wine to reduce down and give extra flavor, which was great. The beef bourguignon is fantastic. And I use a boxed red wine, little box, about that tall, because I don't eat a lot of wine. I've like, oh God, do you guys like this stuff? But I mean, that's like people when they look at cigars, like, oh, what you like the taste of that? Yes, I do. It's awesome. It's dope. So I don't want to get too hypocritical here, because people love wine for a reason. I don't get the appeal of it.
DJ Eli did a podcast, a big podcast, and he's been putting out little shorts. And the one today was him talking about casting shade on what other people like and you don't like it.
Right.
Says, don't yuck someone's yum. I was like, yeah, that's all right.
Not bad.
EJ's got some smart little quips he comes out with, and that was a good one. Don't yuck someone's yum.
I heard a nice little quip the other day on TikTok, yesterday on TikTok. Is like everybody's so consumed with eye for an eye and tooth for the tooth, we're all just going to end up blind and with no teeth. Like, dang, that hits hard. You think about it, like, dang, man, that's pretty dang good. If everybody goes eye for eye, tooth for tooth, you're gonna have a bunch of blind people who can't chew nothing but the bubble gum.
Not getting political because I'm not going to, but there's a new thing about the military. Pete Hexeth came out and he was addressing the generals and said, everybody in the military has to adhere to
And no beardos.
the weight ratios, and they have to do physical fitness tests. So you can't have any more overweight generals and admirals and stuff like this. Everybody's got to be in shape to be a fighting force. And so just for fun, I looked up what the max weight for a Marine that is 6 foot tall.
185.
140.
Jeez.
140.
Golly.
140. That's the max acceptable weight.
Bro,
It's
that
140 pounds.
That means like the max accepting weight for 6'5" is like
probably 165, 170.
Yeah, could you imagine?
And I'm sitting there going,
Could you imagine me running around at 160, 170?
can you imagine me at 140? Maybe if I was a double amputee.
Here's the thing, like I didn't realize that part. I knew that he had talked about the standards and whatnot, which I didn't realize. Like, I still haven't looked into it. But Cigar Pup says I'm two Marines.
Semper Fi, right?
Semper high five. Anyways, it's a ooh rah rah. Sorry, I just got a bunch of them just zinging around up there. When it absolutely positively has to be eaten overnight. Sorry, I'm done. I have not looked into the physical requirements, whatnot. I figured it was still like pretty physically taxing to be in the military, because when I see people who are in the military, like they're still in shape. Like,
you should be fit. I mean, you are a fighting force.
Right.
You should be fit.
But like when I see videos or pictures of Marines or Army or Navy or whatever, like they don't look out of shape.
Right.
Okay, maybe they didn't do 500 push-ups, but they did 250 of them. So I don't know. I have not looked into like what changed, what not. The one thing that does make me mad is the beard thing. Like, okay, don't grow a beard like Chief. Okay, I got it. Don't grow a beard like me. But why not have a little bit of stuff on your face? Like, what's the deal?
The deal about beards is gas masks. Just like some medical fields, you can't have a beard because your mask won't get a seal. Okay. The deal is gas
that
masks.
The deal though, or because when Pete was talking about it, he was talking about beardos, and he was degrading
there's also
facial hair.
There's also,
it's like, bro, just because you can't grow facial hair doesn't mean that you got to make everybody else feel bad about being able to grow a beard.
There's also people who were trying to get religious exemptions. Some faiths feel like you have to have beard hair and this and that, and the military used to basically be, look, this is it. This is what you are. This is what you signed on for. You are to conform and be the same as everybody else. That's part of the military. And so then they started doing exemptions, and those exemptions got bigger and they got bigger and they got bigger.
One of the things that I've
to readjust, and I think he's being a little bit harsh.
One of the things that I've seen a lot of people complaining about is men of different ethnic backgrounds having skin irritations with shaving.
Right.
And I've seen that.
And so when I was in the Marine Corps, when I was in boot camp, a lot of people with a lot of melanin, you'll get, your hair is not straight, it's curly. So when you shave it a little bit, it actually turns back in and you get bumps.
Yeah.
And so you don't shave it. They actually get this stuff called magic sizing or something like that. Oh, the stuff is ridiculous. It's a powder that you mix up into a paste and you put it on and you let it sit. It's basically like Nair. It's hair remover. And then you scrape it off with a butter knife, and it stinks so bad. It is
melting your hair follicles.
It does. It melts all your hair follicles. But then you don't have to do it for like 3-4 days instead of shaving every day. When I was in the Marine Corps in boot camp, you had to shave down. Then you had to shave up. Then you had to shave sideways.
I mean, I get it for boot camp and whatnot, because you're being put in an uncomfortable situation so that you can be forced to make hard decisions in crunch time. And being uncomfortable and being used to being uncomfortable means that you can thrive in uncomfortability.
Well, they also take away your individuality.
Right. And I get that part. But what I don't get is, like, we're not in any active wartime situation right now. Like, there's no active fighting going on, in the public scene. Like, obviously you have your spec ops stuff that's going on all the time. Somebody ever knows what is going on. But it's not like you've got, rows and rows and platoons and legions of military men and women going into fight trench warfare right now. You've got dudes who are sitting in Germany or Poland or, the Sub-Sahara or Australia or China or Hawaii right now that are doing their thing, and they're running their base, and they're making sure they're training and whatnot. Like, come on, let the dudes have some facial hair.
I get it, but I think it's just one added extra thing that you don't need to deal with. I mean, it is, and I can't speak for any other service with the Marine Corps, but the first thing they drill into you, is that you'll be a Marine for the rest of your life. There will be something that will change you, and everybody that came before you, you owe them a debt.
Look, I get
to
that.
serve, but they also say the first thing they say is every Marine is a rifleman. It doesn't matter if you're a cook, it doesn't matter if you're an admin, it doesn't matter if you're a whatever. At any time, you can be called to pick up your rifle and go stand on the front line. And that is the ready force of the Marine Corps, which is different with the Army and the Air Force and the Coast Guard and the Navy and Space Force and everything else. But for the Marine Corps, it is expected that you will stand a post if called upon, period, to the end.
See, I'm here with Jay. This is something I was going to touch on. Like, some of the scariest, meanest dudes in the history of history have been gnarly looking dudes.
I don't disagree. Your special forces, your MARSOC, and some of your others insurgent kind of people, they actually are encouraged to have facial hair and long hair. They don't have the high and tights. They don't this and that. Also, when I was in Okinawa, there were places down south of Okinawa, Naha for one of them. If you had to wear a hat when you went there because you were a target, there were terrorists that would try to target you. Or the risk of being targeted. So you couldn't wear Marine Corps shirts, you couldn't wear any of that, and you had to keep your dog tags tucked. And you had to wear a hat everywhere you went. So I mean, it is.
Well, I'm just glad he got all this information out before it got leaked in those group chats again.
The people in Guam, you didn't get issued a uniform; you got issued a 3-piece suit. You wore a suit everywhere you went. So it's it's different for different climates.
Right. Improvise, adapt, overcome. I get it.
What they're doing is they are just trying to
urban camouflage doesn't have to be, camo.
Right.
It's, looking like a businessman or whatever. Like, I get that.
The pendulum swings. And but it swung one way really hard, and now they're trying to swing it all back in one big shot. I don't know if they should do that or not, but there did need to be an adjustment.
I don't agree with Diana. I love you. I do. I care for you. So much. I disagree. I think it's dumb. I think it's just somebody trying to whip it out and show their power. And
look, there's nothing cooler than a Marine in dress blues, clean shaven, and just
but how often do you do that? Right? Once a year, twice a year?
I never got my dress blues.
Okay, so there you go. So yeah, woohoo! You got to a point where you got to go to to dress up and whatnot, or I get it. You run a funeral, right? You dress up, you go to do the 21 gun salute, or you carry a coffin, or or whatnot. Like, that's a special detail. Like, you've signed up to be a part of that, or that was your brother in arms, or something like that. Like, I get that part. That's like dressing up to go to church on Sunday, which I don't get super dressed up fancy for church. I mean, I get dressed. I'm clean, right? But a wedding, for sake, sorry, a wedding or a funeral, like, I'm going to wear things to, make sure that I am paying reverence or respect or love or care or admonition, whatever, in that situation. But you put these dudes out on a rifle range, and they're worried about the bullets flying over the head, and you got some dudes going to come around. All right, get your debit cards out. We're going to see if we can hear the stubble on your face.
Here's the thing, though. If there's somebody saying, I don't want to join the Marine Corps because I don't want to shave my beard, they probably are not going to become a good Marine in the first place. If that beard is more important than serving their country and signing a check to be put in harm's way, and they're not willing to sacrifice everything for that, then, that's...
I get that part. When you join the military,
it's like tattoos. You can't have you're not allowed to have tattoos that are visible.
When you join the military, you sign your life away. Like, I get that. And if that was, when I go to work, right, there are certain things that I'm allowed to do. There's certain things I'm not allowed to do. And I don't buck the system, because if I do, I'm willingly going against, what I've been instructed to do. It doesn't mean that as somebody who's not in my job sits there and says, Chief, I think it's kind of silly you have to wear a collared shirt. Hey, man, I don't like wearing collared shirts either, but they tell me I got to wear a collared shirt. I got to wear a collared shirt. Hey, Chief, you're not wearing a hat when you work. Nope, not allowed to wear a hat. Hey, Chief, you're not wearing shorts when you work. Nope, can't wear shorts. Well, what do I do normally every single day? Wear shorts, wear a T-shirt, wear a hat. That's pretty much it. But when I go to work, I take my hat off, I do my hair, I put my collared shirt on, put my pants on, put my nice shoes on, I go to work.
Well, when you're in the Marines,
so I get that part. I just, somebody from the outside looking in,
right?
To me, when I look at Pete Hegseth or anybody who's doing whoever it would be, I just think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I think that it's let me show you how far I can swing my stick.
I don't know. I think he was a little aggressive in his presentation.
See you, Matt. Thanks for hanging out with us, brother.
I think there was a little bit of I'm now the top dog. This is the way it's going to happen. This is the way it's going to go. I didn't agree with all of his delivery. I also believe in, especially in the military, you chastise in private, you praise in public. And this was a very public expression where he was calling down all these people and calling down the military. And I don't know if that should have been done. It was more of a shock and awe kind of thing. I understand the purpose behind it. I just don't know if there couldn't have been a better way of doing it. But like you said, when you're not at work, then you can wear whatever you want. Well, when you're not a Marine, you can wear whatever you want. The problem is when you're in the Marine Corps, once you sign that paper until you get out, you're a Marine 24/7. So, I don't have a problem with it. I would have liked to have when I was in, your mustache couldn't go past the corner of your mouth and it couldn't touch your lip. Women back then, the hair couldn't touch the collar, and you couldn't have any color except for the same color as your eyebrows.
Right.
And you couldn't dye your eyebrows. So, you couldn't do all that stuff. I think there is a position for individuality when you're off duty. But if you can't put that individuality in your pocket whenever you clock in and put on the uniform, I think it goes against the cohesiveness of the unit.
I get it. No, I'm not sitting here saying that, people just need to revolt and do what they want to do and just start doing whatever, they're going to do. My problem is I feel like it's not coming from a place of this is making us better. I feel like this is coming from, and again, this is, you've triggered me here.
God,
because
there's all sorts of triggers tonight, aren't you?
Had to get me off my BOTL kick. I just feel like this is I'm going to do this because I want to be the alpha male. I want to be the peak guy. I want to be remembered in the names of, Thurmond and, all the others that have come before me, Patton, and, I made it to where nobody could shave that. Nobody could have a beard. I'm so cool. I'm a hard behind man. I just don't like him.
You don't like him?
Sorry, I don't like this.
You don't like the delivery that he came with?
I think it came off as it is pompous, and I don't know. To me, it almost felt like, bro, can you grow a beard? Or are you just jealous of the dudes who could grow a beard? And
when he told all the generals that they had to be as fit as the troops that they deal with, I was sitting there going, man, I tell you what, I can't remember people way up in the up and ups that weren't usually overweight. But there was a sergeant major in our battalion, and he was as round as Alfred Hitchcock. He was round. And I used to make cracks. I wouldn't make cracks to him, for God's sakes. We'd make cracks, just being enlisted in the barracks going, yeah, they're wanting us to get up every day, and we're running for 2 hours a day, and we're PTing for 6 hours a day, and this and that. And he's telling us that we got to be the ready force, and we got to be the tip of the spear or whatever. And look how round he was. He showed up one day for PT, and he outran all of us like on a 5-mile run. And I was like, all right. So he had the ability to do it. He ran every day, come to find out. He's a long distance runner, but he was shaped like Grimace from McDonald's.
But I can't remember who has a song that
Fireborn says tonight on Chew Talk we push his
right.
buttons
Yeah,
and watch
I
the
posted that one
breakdowns.
up. I can't remember the song, and nobody really ever listens to the lyrics, but it basically talks about if old men fought all the wars that they caused, there'd be no wars. War is the old men sending off the young boy to die for the old men's ideals or whatever, something like that. And that kind of, when you were talking about, generals being older and rounder and whatnot, it's like you train up these generations of men and women to go to go and do your bidding while you get to sit back and push all the buttons and tell people why they did something wrong or whatever.
It used to be generals used to lead the battle. They used to lead the battle. They were the first ones in.
It's like in the Patriot when General Cornwallis and Swamp Fox are having their face-to-face meeting, and he was like, "Hey, we need to talk about some stuff, the way that you're doing things." And Cornwallis says, "You continue to target my, generals or lieutenants or whatever, the upper, ranking officers. That's what I'm looking for. You're targeting officers." And he said that, there's no honor in that armies led with no officers lead to chaos and all this stuff. And then he turned around and said, "Well, as long as you continue to target women and children and burn down villages, I will command officers be the first ones shot on sight." And then Cornwallis turned around and says, "Well, I count those things to be two completely separate issues." And Swamp Fox says, "I don't." So we could go really far, deep dive.
Well, that's like the clip from Achilles.
Right.
When the guy goes,
I will erect statues, and at the bottom of them will be Agamemnon. Your statues will be made in sand.
And he said something like, wouldn't it be great if the generals fought their own fights or something like that whenever he went in?
Imagine that, a king who fights his own battle.
Right.
All right, so let's switch.
What a rabbit hole.
We did not have one of these last week because we weren't here last week, but we do have a stick pick of the week this weekend. He's not here. He's in New York City in Times Square dancing the night away. Charles the Man Adamson with this week's stick pick of the week. Geez, Stogie picture of the week. Post a picture of your cigar on Discord to be considered for next week's pick. Charles Adamson with the Los Statos Deluxe. Actually, the reason Charles Adamson won this one is because most of the pictures that were posted in the last 2 weeks were just pretty much cigar selfies. That's all it was. And super out of focus photos. So I was like, well, there's not really one that I feel like wins stick pick of the week. But I thought this one was cool because you had the nice contrast between, the band of the cigar, but also the cigar and the band across the grass, the shadow in the background. You get a little bit of pool action going back there. I know Charles Adamson's won 2 or 3 times already. So this week, Charles Adamson wins stick pick of the week. Chiefs Stogie picture of the week.
So if somebody wants the illustrious title of stick pick of the week, how do they get a chance to do that?
All right. So let me take that off. So what Bob the Cigar Guy is asking is, how can you be Charles Adamson's here. Look at him go. If you want to be considered for Chiefs Talks stick pick of the week, join the Discord. Second link in the description, and post your cigars in the Now Smoking tab. Has to be in the Now Smoking tab, not any of the other ones. And just what you're smoking. See if you can doll up your picture a little bit or whatnot. Sometimes it's a lineup of cigars. Sometimes it's a mountain of cigar ash and cigar butts that have been put out. It all just kind of goes on what was my favorite picture of the week. So Charles Adamson won this week's stick pick of the week at the end of the year, which is coming up close. We're in October already.
It's crazy, right?
We haven't even talked about the topic of tonight's show, which is the best weather for cigars.
Today.
I mean, that's tonight's topic is
Until tomorrow.
the best weather for cigars.
And then tomorrow's the best weather.
Yeah, end of the year's coming up. So at the end of the year, we're going to put all of the winners up on the screen. We will decide who is the winner of winners, and the winner of winners will take home a nice Aganorsa ashtray, an Aganorsa cup, and maybe a couple Aganorsa cigars that we can find any laying around. Charles Edmondson says he's listening with his noise canceling AirPods. Did you get the ones? Did you get the new ones that will translate conversations? Those are dope. Those are really cool. Those are going to be really popular with the women who go to get their feet done or their nails done, because like it translates into your ear what they're saying. So that's going to be kind of cool. I think that's going to be kind of game changing. I actually saw a video today. It was right before Chief Talk started, of these cops somewhere in America, and they had detained a Russian international, and he didn't speak any English. And this cop next to his body cam literally had an AI translator thing on him, and he would press the button, speak into it, and it said, "What language do you want?" And he said Russian. And it says, "Okay, now translating in Russian." He'd press the button, speak into it, and it would translate from his chest to the dude sitting in the car. And then as soon as the conversation is done, it starts listening again for the Russian response. And then when he's done talking, it cuts off, processes, and then speaks out loud in English. I was like, that is the coolest thing I think I've ever seen.
That's pretty cool.
But I think that's kind of cool. You're going to have the ability to walk in someplace, and not that you'll be able to talk back to them, but
you'll know
what they said, so you can like point at things or hold up numbers or whatever. Maybe in the future, it's like everybody now has some sort of electronic device on them. Maybe in the future, instead of having everybody having an Apple Watch on, you've got Apple headphones in that translate your stuff for you.
They have glasses that do that too.
Not the language though. Not auditory language. It'll translate what you see.
Oh, I thought it translate the audio as well.
I don't think it does the audio. I could be wrong. I know it will. Like there is a HUD on some glasses that will translate what you see, or you can say like, "What am I looking at?" And it'll say, "Oh, you're looking at this is what I believe it is." Cigar Pop says he just got some earbuds from TikTok that has a translator. Ooh. Dan Burns says he could hear what his coworkers are saying, like the Star Trek Gorn, the Arena episode, come true. All the sci-fi stuff of when you guys were young is no longer nonfiction or no longer fiction.
Scary.
It's all nonfiction.
We still ain't got flying cars.
Well, not mass-produced ones.
I'm waiting to be like the Jetsons.
Canonically, George Jetson was born last year.
I started watching Fallout again because Fallout's coming soon. The next series. And I watched the first episode of Fallout. And the robot that when she was in the old grocery store and it was going to chop her up, that same robot or the same model of robot was in the house where the birthday party was.
Yeah, Mr. Handy.
In the very beginning, sitting in the corner trying to see if he could do some help.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at that. So watching the second time, I'm seeing things that I hadn't seen before, which is kind of interesting. Yeah,
so you're kind of experiencing a little bit of like what we experienced as Fallout players, was kind of seeing things kind of come to life. So you got to experience Mr. Handy later on in the series of being a murder bot, basically, which in the video games, you can actually make Mr. Handy your companion, and he will attack people with you.
See, I tried to look up Fallout. I was going to play the video game on the computer, and it just seemed like a simple, stupid. You go in a hole and you
That's
build
the
out,
original
you
Fallout.
build out different freaking rooms.
Yeah, the original Fallout is like a point and click kind of turn by turn based kind of sort of thing. Fallout 4 is what I played, got me hooked. Which a lot of what you see in the current Fallout series is a lot of Fallout 4.
So it's like a first person?
Fallout 4 is first person, yeah. Single player.
You can play it on the computer?
You could play it on the computer. I played it on the Xbox. But they Fallout 76 was the one after Fallout 4, and that was the first time you could play online multiplayer Fallout. That was the one thing that I hated and loved about Fallout 4, but you couldn't play with anybody else. You couldn't invite your friends to play on the server with you. You couldn't play with anybody else. You had to play with the computer or just play by yourself. But that's kind of one of the cool things about some video games is it's the story. And ultimately, that's why I love the Fallout series as much as I do, is because of the story that I got hooked into with Fallout 4. And so it is kind of funny how, like, what I realized as they were talking about, the ghoul, like, and going back and forth and seeing him, originally, and then I knew why he was the way he was. And then when the kid gets shot with the stuff after he breaks his leg, and I knew before it was revealed in the TV show that he was now going to become a ghoul, that's what that guy was doing to him to heal his leg, was to turn him into this immortal being, somewhat immortal. So it is. I'll probably go back and refresh with it as well.
It's only 8 episodes,
but it's coming out soon. The trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu came out a couple weeks ago. It looks really good.
Ted Lasso's coming out soon.
Yeah. I'm hoping the Silo will come back out.
I like that movie. That was a good movie. Good show.
Good show. Let's see. Cigar says it actually needs the phone to be connected for his headphones. Dan Burns says it's a good show. Second season is coming out soon. I think it's December?
Soon, yeah.
Charles Edmondson says he doesn't know if he trusts a TikTok translator, probably sending everything to the TikTok overlords. TikTok is now owned by an Israeli donator. Fireborn says, yeah, I just finished my second playthrough of the Fallout show. It is well done. I liked it. I really liked it. As long as they continue to make the show the same way they made the show the first season, I think it'll continue to do well. I always worry about second seasons.
I worry about third seasons. Third season seems that's when they start introducing stuff that's just more political and more biased. And
there was some stuff that I feel like could have been left out of the Fallout series in the first season that didn't necessarily have to be there because it wasn't a part of the video game stuff. But it'll be interesting to see how they tie everything together. I did not play Fallout New Vegas, which this is what the season is really going to be based a lot around. I have a working knowledge of Fallout New Vegas, but I never played it, so it's not like I'm gonna have been as surprised. But funny, like the Fallout that I played, Fallout 4 is based in Boston, or right outside of Boston, and right now they're over on the West Coast. So even though there were a lot of things about Fallout the series that were in Fallout 4, technically it's not Fallout 4 because they're not in Boston. They're in California. Well, now they're going to Vegas. All right, we are here at 9:43. I'm glad that we were able to have a show tonight. I was really looking forward to this. I really wanted to have a show last week, but my head was killing me, man. So Bob the Cigar Guy, as we close out here, I'll give you your closing statements.
The weather is wonderful. The cigars are fantastic. All the weather and the cigars need is a lighter, a cutter, and you. So insert yourself into that time. Take a pause for yourself. Take a break. Holidays are coming. I've said this the past couple weeks, not last week, but the past couple weeks before that. Holidays are coming. So get yourself some cigars, get yourself ready, and stock up on some relaxation because it's going to get busy real soon. Thanks for being here. And I love you. And I mean it. Chief, back to you.
All right. Thank you all for hanging out with us again. Thank you all for being here to participate in Chief Talk. Thank you all for coming back. We got up to 26 tonight, so that was nice to be able to see that there were a lot of people who wanted to come and hang out even after abandoning you all at the last minute last week. Hopefully you all had a good week. Hopefully you all are gonna have a good weekend coming up. I know we're supposed to be getting some rain in our area here in the next couple of days, so I'm going to try to enjoy this weather. It is getting nice. Highs in like the mid 70s, lows in the high 50s. I love it. It's my favorite time of year. To be able to sit outside. Well, I had a fire out back last night. It was nice to be able to get out and, you know, I hate the leaves falling down, but we burned a lot of those too. But it is getting to be that time where I love to be outdoors. So thank you all for hanging out with us. Smoke something good for me. Drink something good. I'm going to do the same for you. And then next week when we come back, we can talk all about all the fun things that we smoked, we drank, and did without one another. If you want to be a part of Chief Talk throughout the rest of the week, do jump in the Discord. There's a second link in the description. We would love to have you over there. We talk all sorts about cigars, not Pete Hegseth, but we could entertain the conversation enough as long as it stays civil, or else I'll put you all in timeout. Without further ado, love you all. See you next week.
Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
Time to relax. Whew. Man, I'm beat. Whew. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go. Go.